For most of the year, I am pretty much a straight up plain Jane, I like it black, neutral flavored coffee kind of drinker. However, when the fall hits and the holiday times come around, I take full advantage of all those seasonal K-Cups that hit the store shelves. So what I've done today is I've nailed down my top 3 fall flavored K-Cups that I just absolutely love. I've also decided to throw one in there that I think you should really stay away from, and the only reason I'm including it is because it's really inexpensive and it's pretty much everywhere, so I want to make sure you stay away from it. Before we get to my reviews, don't forget to like and subscribe. And for those of you who are here for my normal shtick, my retro-inspired vegan recipes, I will post a few of my coffee recipes down below. They're delicious, of course, and they're vegan, and they're inspired by awesome things like Charlie Brown and Wonder Woman. Number 3 on my list of fall flavored K-Cup coffees is Trader Joe's Pumpkin Spice Coffee. This is a spice forward coffee in every way, shape, or form. When you start brewing this stuff, you know there are fall spices happening somewhere in your house. The smell, the tastes are there, just delicious. The box says it's naturally flavored with cinnamon, clove, ginger, nutmeg, and allspice. I taste a lot of nutmeg and a lot of allspice, but I love those spices, so that's perfectly fine with me. This is one of the coffees that I do like to have with soy milk or a little bit of vegan creamer because it doesn't mute the flavor of the spices. The spices are so present in this that it really doesn't take away from the coffee too much if you put a little neutral tasting nut milk in there. So this is about, you get 12 K-Cups in here for $4.99, which is a great deal because that works out to be about 41 or 42 cents per cup of coffee, which is an awesome deal for a delicious fall flavored coffee. My number 2 favorite fall flavored K-Cup is Starbucks Fall Blend. I usually don't buy Starbucks K-Cups because I think they're too expensive, but Dinosaur Dracula suggested this on one of his Instagram videos, so I ran out to Target, I bought it, I tasted it, and I really loved it. So I do agree with his assessment. He said it's officially a fall flavor, but it tastes like a regular cup of coffee. I totally agree with that. It is rich and it does have some kind of spice undertone that I can't quite put my finger on, but this is a really good cup of coffee on a cold autumn morning for sure. So this comes in a 22 pack, about $17. That rounds out to be about 77 cents a K-Cup. So in some people's opinions, that might be cheap. I think that's a little pricey on the K-Cup side, but with all said, it is a good cup of coffee for 77 cents. Before we get to my absolute number 1 K-Cup coffee flavor for the fall season, I wanted to show you a flavor and a brand that I would skip if I were you. It is the Good & Gather Maple Bourbon. Now, this was such a letdown, one, because Good & Gather is usually a pretty good brand. It is the Target brand, as many of you know, and Maple Bourbon sounds like a delicious flavor combo. So when I saw this, I snatched it right up. So, brewed me a cup of coffee, and when you smell it, it doesn't really smell like maple. Doesn't smell like bourbon, as if bourbon had like a real distinguishable smell. So that part doesn't bother me so much. As much as I do love smelling coffee when it's brewing, it's really about the taste. So when you taste it, yeah. So no maple, no bourbon. What you do get is a really bitter, indistinguishable taste. It's just, and I've tried this every which way. I tried high strength, low strength. I've tried to let it cool down a little bit. I tried it with a little splash of almond milk. I really tried to like this. And no. And just to make sure that my taste buds weren't playing tricks on me, I did give this to someone else to try, and I didn't tell them what the flavor profile was. And not only could they not distinguish any maple or any bourbon as well, they said, wow, that's a really terrible cup of coffee. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with all these. Ugh. Anyways, Good & Gather, you get 16 in a box, or in the box that I got, and it was about $8.99, so around $9, which is a good deal because that's about 55, 56 cents per pod. However, if I were you, I would skip this. My number one fall flavored K-Cup is one that was a complete surprise to me because I have never had Peet's brand coffee that I can remember. So I am really glad that I snagged this one for this taste test. This is the vanilla cinnamon, and oh my goodness. Oh, the vanilla is there, the cinnamon is there, but it's really subtle. And on the box it does say, let me see if I can flip this around, perfect with milk, and I'm sure they mean almond milk or soy milk. But I did try it with almond milk, and you know what? I mean, it was fine, but I love the flavor of the coffee straight up. Now, Peet's is a little bit expensive in my taste. This whole box of 10 was $9.99, so that rounds out to be about $1 a K-Cup. But that does mean sometimes, I will say, if you pay a little more, you do get a really good cup of coffee. And this is a delicious, scrum-delicious cup of coffee. My number one favorite flavor for the fall, for sure. To enjoy a good cup of coffee, you have to have a good coffee maker, right? Well, I have reviewed 2 different types of Keurig coffee makers on my channel, and I will post those links down below. Please let me know what kind of fall flavors you're digging these days, and I would love to hear what kind of holiday flavored K-Cups that you either love or you hate. Enjoy your autumn, enjoy your coffee, and I will see you back here next time.